Hello everyone, Kay with Zuna, and what we're going to look at is several of my favorite indicators that would fall under, I like to categorize all different types of technical analysis, and so these indicators would fall under market distribution profile or market activity profile group of technical analysis. So this being obviously a very common way of profiling the distribution of a market. As you can see, you have the TPO letters here. We have the value area, okay, the value low, the value high, the point of control, and it's also noted down here in text where the market where the market closed, where it opens. So these are some basics. You have your initial balance here, this vertical line here. Okay, so these are some basics of analyzing a market, the way price rotated or distributed, okay, which falls under the market distribution profile category of technical analysis. Now, we're showing the price bars on this chart, but this is actually my favorite way of looking at it because it's much more clean. I don't get fooled, and I don't use a chart like this for trading. What I do is I have this on one of my workspaces, and it's in my view, and this is a cleaner way for me to take a look at it because I want to see the profile distribution shape, and I also want to these levels might be important for me to take a look at. So of course these levels are important, but I use different tools, and I'll show you which ones I do. What the chart we just looked at was a 24-hour session. This is a pit session. I'm showing you everything on the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract, and I'm showing you different looks of it. This is the pit session, and of course you're not limited to this symbol only. You can use these type of indicators with any kind of instrument, anything. But it's very popular for E-mini traders to profile only the pit session. Of course, I think you should also take a look at 24-hour session, but that's neither here or there. So this is the pit session. If we just go through some days, as you can see, and so what you would want to do is I have these. Obviously, you can expand your charts so you can see. And again, this is something that you could easily get it. Just simply hide the data because you want to really look at the profile. Okay, so you can see the profile without any distractions. Now, so this is just the profiling of the day. Let's look at, it's very important to also take a look at the week. This is a composite profile. Okay, so we're looking at a weekly profile. Now, we didn't create profiles based on each session. Instead, we did a whole week as one profile. So this would be a custom profile. Again, same thing, value area. It's also noted down here. You have your TPO profile or distribution of rotation. This is, that prior one was a 24-hour session. This is the pit session. For those of you who think trading is supposed to be really easy and you underestimate it, and you will shortly find out after several weeks that it's not that easy. As you can see, there's a lot of work involved. This is just one technical analysis, and you can see how many different charts I'm going to show you of it. So this is a monthly profile, and it's very important to, if you're going to use a market distribution profile technical analysis, it's very important to not get narrow-minded and just look at the daily profiles. And this is a longer term profile. This is a monthly profile, and as you can see, the letters are hardly noticeable. Now take a look at these numbers down here, because this 1157.25 value high, 82 and 50, and point of control 78.50. I'm going to show you the same exact profile, and this is the same exact profile. What I've done is, instead of looking at each single tick, I've converged several ticks so we can see the letters much more clearly. And as you can see, it doesn't change the value area by much. It just changed it by one tick, the value area levels by one tick. And since we're looking at a longer term profile, one tick is certainly acceptable. So we give that up to see a much more clear profile. So let's go and look at some other various indicators. This is a very useful indicator. As you can see, it's a value area broadcast using trend lines. So we're taking that same value area that we were looking at daily profiles and broadcasting it on a 1-minute chart. Why? So we could use it as support and resistance levels for or help with our trading. As you can see, we try to auction out of the value area. We failed. We came back in, held the value low area, and moved back up, etc. So this is a 1-minute chart. This is a 5-minute chart. So this is designed so you could broadcast it on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute chart, and it's very helpful because you can use it for example, here I extended that trend line, but this is the value high. Extend right, and you can see the market is kind of not able to push higher. It comes back down, holds the prior value high, and moves back up again. If you're into using support and resistance levels, you really should throw away your common floor pivot type of indicators and start using something like this. I don't mean to make fun of floor pivots. I know there's a lot of people using them. It's just take that just as a joking around a little bit. Okay. The next indicator that falls into this category is the footprint of the developing value area, the intraday. Now most traders will use what we just showed was this indicator here. This is the fixed value area, or in other words, a static value area. Okay, once the session closes. Now, value area is developing as the session is unfolding, and so that you would need to have a good indication of where that value is and how it's moving, that area. And so this is what this indicator does. This two blue lines here and then this cyan line in the middle. This is your developing value area. Very useful. As you can see, if we zoom in here, okay, so you had areas here where you could have shorted the market against resistance. Reason you would do that is you can see the rotation factor is telling you that the market is rotating downwards. This is another indicator that combined with everything else is very helpful, and it can help you understand the direction of the market or lack of direction. It's essentially a rotation factor with a single print built in as one. So the single prints are color coded into here. So simple. You got your value area, so you're doing your analysis. You have your developing value area, you have your profile distribution, you have your rotation factor, all these indicators combined. In my opinion, anybody that is beginning to trade combining these indicators, probably the best set of indicators that you can start with, because you're going to start with something with substance and something that the market respects, not with some not with indicators that are I'm having a hard time finding the right words, but there are a lot of indicators out there that have no substance or solid logic or reasoning behind them. Don't waste your time with those. Anything that's free on Tradestation, okay, leave those alone. If you want to begin with a set of indicators that would really help you and have some substance to it and market respects those indicators, then in my opinion this group of technical analysis is where you should begin. So that's pretty much my favorite profile indicators. There is another one which is I'll quickly go over. Now let me explain it this way. What we're going to do is let me show you this. This is a developing value area. This is based on TPOs, or price, okay? In other words, where price is spending most of the time. This is the point of control. It's the logic behind this is to find the highest area of volume being traded. It's a proxy for that, however. It's based on price itself. It's not based on the actual. Now that we have volume information, this was designed many years ago, but now that we have volume information, intraday volume information that is, what we can do is we can see where the heaviest actual trade, so we don't need to use a proxy. We can see where the actual heavy volume price is. And in order to do that, you'd need a separate indicator, which is called, this is called the developing value area footprint. That other indicator is called a PVP footprint, which is peak volume price. Okay, what that does is it doesn't broadcast, but what it does is it traces the footprint of the highest volume price as that is dynamically shifting, and then at the end of the day, obviously, it gives you the static volume, high volume price. We call that a peak volume price, but it's also known as VPOC, volume point of control, and this would be referred to as a price point of control. It's also known as volume at price indicator. It's based on real volume, it's accurate, and that is very, very useful. Two other indicators, which would be the volume histogram that we have and the relative volume ratio. Those are some of the best indicators for anybody that's a screen trader or technical trader.